Undertaker's character has been praised as one of the best gimmick in professional wrestling. He received Best Gimmick Award from the Wrestling Observer newsletters for the period 1990 to 1994. During his early years, Paul Bearer used an urn to give Undertaker supernatural powers. He had many nicknames such as the Phenom, the Deadman, the Lord of Darkness, Big Evil, and Booger Red. James Bryan Hellwig is known as Dingo Warrior in WCCW. It was Vince McMahon who changed the name to The Ultimate Warrior in WWE. It is said that the Ultimate Warrior is one of the most enigmatic men to ever hold the WWE Championship. In his last appearance on Raw, he has a mask depicting his trademark face paint. The $1 Million Man is one of the best technical wrestlers and greatest villains in pro wrestling history. He wore a gold-studded, $sign-covered suit and, in time, a custom-made, diamond-encrusted and self-awarded $1 Million Championship belt. He received the Best Gimmick Award from the Wrestling Observer newsletters for the year 1987. Jacobs competed in his first WWE match as Mike Unabomber in 1995. Jacobs played various characters until 1997, when he was repackaged as Kane, the younger half-brother of The Undertaker, with whom Jacobs would alternatively feud or team as the Brothers of Destruction. Kane remained a pivotal component of the WWE Attitude Era of the late 1990s and early 2000s, defeating the era's poster boy. Sting emerged wearing a trench coat and white face paint, with black marks around his eyes. Scott Hall had suggested the idea of painting his face like the character of Eric Draven from The Crow. He received the Most Charismatic Award from the Wrestling Observer newsletters for the year 1988 and 1992. Readers of Pro Wrestling Illustrated named him Most Popular Wrestler for the year 1991, 1992, 1994 and 1997. Page has wrestled for mainstream wrestling promotions in WWE, TNA, and AEW. Page is associated with the self-high five as well as the diamond cutter symbol. On 2017, he was officially inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He received Best Wrestling Maneuver for the year 1997. Professional wrestling journalists Bob Ryder and Dave Shearer, in a 2000 publication, recognized Hennig as one of the best all-round competitors. Hennig was mentioned on Raw 1000 by his old friend Bret Hart and described him as one of the greatest superstars that ever lived. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2007 by longtime friend Wade Boggs. He performs under two alternating ring names. The first is Bray Wyatt, who is a children's entertainer, hosting a show called Firefly Funhouse. And the other one is the Fiend Bray Wyatt, which is a demonic character with supernatural powers. He received Best Gimmick Award from the Wrestling Observer newsletters for the year 2019 and the Wyatt family for the year 2013. Big Van Vader is one of the greatest super heavyweight pro wrestlers of all time. Vader performed as a monstrous wrestler and he was capable of aerial maneuvers. His diving moonsault was voted the best wrestling maneuver of 1993 by Wrestling Observer newsletter readers. Vader was inducted into the Wrestling Observer newsletter Hall of Fame in 1996. The Road Warriors, also known as the Legion of Doom. The tag team compassed Michael Hegstrand as Road Warrior Hawk and Joseph Laurinaitis as Road Warrior Animal. Hawk and Animal were known for their impressive physiques, which was larger than most wrestlers of the era. Their face paint and spiked armor were inspired by the Mad Max film, The Road Warrior. They also introduced a tandem maneuver known as the Doomsday Device. During a dark match, pitting the team of Seth Skyfire and Robert Fury against Robbie Dauber and his partner, Wright entered the ring and squashed all three men, no-selling the offensive Skyfire in the process. He then announced he was the Boogeyman. The Boogeyman gimmick further evolved into a monster face who would appear when another wrestler said his name and attack him. Foley worked for many wrestling promotions like WWE, WCW, ECW, TNA, and NWA. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2013. Foley's dedicated and physical style of wrestling led him to often participate in violent and brutal match that involved him taking dangerous bumps and physical toll, eventually earning him the moniker, the Hardcore Legend. Dustin Patrick Runnels is best known for his multiple tenures with the WWE from 1995 to 2019. As the character, the Bizarre One, Goldust. Under the gimmick, Runnels wore a predominantly gold jumpsuit, black and gold face paint, and during entrances and promos, a glittery gold robe and a platinum blonde wig over his short platinum blonde hair. Jake Roberts was known for his intense and cerebral promos, dark charisma, extensive use of psychology in his matches, and innovative use of the DDT finishing move. He is named as the coolest maneuver of all time by WWE. He often brought snakes into the ring, most famously a python. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame on April 5, 2014. Charles Wright is best known for his tenure with the WWE throughout the 1990s and early 2000s and underwent several gimmick changes. The most notable was Papa Shango, Mustafa, and The Godfather. Wright was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame on April 2, 2016, under the Godfather gimmick. On 28 July 2014, WWE officially confirmed Devitt's signing, better known by the ring name, Finn Bálor. Derived from Irish mythological figures, Fionn Mac Cumhaill and Bálor, which means Demon King. He is an avid comic book reader and collector of Lego and has worn face and body paint inspired by comic book characters when wrestling. The Broods often entered arenas by rising through a ring of fire onto the stage floor, with Gangrel carrying a chalice of blood. Gangrel took a drink from the chalice and then spit it towards the crowd. One of the group's trademarks was giving their opponents a bloodbath before or after a wrestling match. Doink the Clown is an original wrestling character and portrayed by Matt Osborne, who debuted the Doink persona in the WWE. He is an evil clown who does cruel jokes on both fans and wrestlers to both amuse himself and catch his victims off guard. Jim Duggan, best known character is that of an American patriot, which sees him use a 2x4 length of wood as a weapon. The battle cry "Who-oh." In the World WWE, Duggan was the winner of the first Royal Rumble match in 1988. Duggan began wrestling in a promotion based in San Antonio, Texas, where he adopted his well-known Hacksaw as nickname. Ray Washington Traylor Jr. was best known under the ring name Big Boss Man in WWE and in WCW as The Boss, The Guardian Angel, and Big Bubba Rogers. Big Boss Man held the WWE World Tag Team Championship once and the WWF Hardcore Championship 4 times. On March 7, 2016, Traylor was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2016. Roy Wayne Ferris has held the WWE Intercontinental Championship for a record 64 weeks. The Honky Tonk Man dressed like a fan-favorite wrestler with an Elvis impersonator gimmick. Salofa F. Fatu Jr. During Too Cool's traditional post-match dance routine, Rikishi joined them and became more frequent and longer. This popularity translated to a significant push. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame by his sons, wrestlers Jay and Jimmy Uso, in 2015. George Murdoch, better known in WWE as Brodus Clay. He debuted on the main roster as his pro Alberto Del Rio's bodyguard. During 2012, WWE changed his gimmick to the Funkusaurus, a funk dancer manager by Naomi and Cameron, the Funkadactyls. He took part in several WWE storylines and feuds until his departure in 2014. David Finlay Jr., better known as Fit Finlay, has held over 20 championships around the world throughout his career. Finlay was joined by Hornswoggle, who came out from under the ring to attack Finlay's opponents. WWE Hall of Famer Batista has credited Finlay as the unsung hero who changed the direction of his career. In 1991, Jacques Rougeau Jr. began a singles career as the Mountie, winning the WWE Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship once. The Mountie later started to use Shock Stick as a gimmick to defeat his opponent.